Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Alice Kennedy. I'm the Housing Commissioner for Baltimore City for the Department of Housing and Community Development. Today is a fantastic afternoon in the Poppleton community. And I want to welcome everybody here today for the important announcement that we have this afternoon. You know, as Housing Commissioner, I'm committed to promoting thriving neighborhoods through community revitalization investments. But I want to emphasize that a key to our efforts in community revitalization is grounded in the values of equity, inclusion, and partnership. You know, I was talking with some people over the weekend, and we cannot go back and we cannot change the past, but we can only look to the future, and that's what we're here to talk about and to celebrate today, because today is a day of celebration in Poppleton, okay? We've been working with the Poppleton community to address ongoing concerns regarding development within the neighborhood. We've listened to you, we've heard you, and we've acted on some of those concerns. We've brought together the developer and his team, the city. We've taken an approach that is focused on the items that were key, that were important, not just to the community, but also to Mayor Scott and his administration. Today, you're going to first hear from our Mayor, Brandon Scott. He charged us with reviewing the plans for the area and has asked for a reset. We've been in ongoing negotiations for some time. Given the legalities of those negotiations and some of the matters that were being discussed, many of those necessarily were carefully managed with all of the impacted parties, which is one reason why we are here today with information coming out you know, on Friday alerting you to this. But most importantly, what I want to focus on today is that we are here to announce progress. And not just progress that's done in a vacuum, but progress that is based on the principles of equity and based on the principles of equitable neighborhood development in our city. And with that, I want to welcome Mayor Brandon Scott to share more information on the progress that we've made today.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Commissioner Kennedy. It is great to be here in Poppleton for this tremendous day. It is a beautiful day. It is a hot and humid day because it is Baltimore in July. It's great to be here with Councilman Bullock, Mrs. Sonia Edes, and Mrs. Paulette Carroll, Dan Bythewood, our HABC Commissioner Janet Abrams, Commissioner Harrison, Shelley Halstead with Black Women Build, and last but not least, and more importantly, all the members of our Poppleton community. We are here today to talk about progress, collaboration, and our city doing what needs to be done to protect the interests of our communities. I want to start today by thanking the Poppleton community for using your voice and for exercising extreme levels of patience throughout this process. I want you to know that we hear you, we understand your concerns, and want to move forward with this project in a way that does not sideline your voices. This is a community that has seen constant challenge and constant change. And I know that going all the way back to 2005, and depending on the time of year, I was either a junior or a senior at St. Mary's College at that time, it was the intent of everyone to bring about positive change and growth to this area. But sometimes we just need to pause and think again about what's best for our city and our residents, because things change. So many neighborhoods in Baltimore have been neglected for decades, and Poppleton is no exception. Even as we become more intentional about reinvestment in communities like this one, we don't want that reinvestment to harm our legacy residents. Residents who have stayed in these communities, believed in our city, and borne the burden of decades of disinvestment. Redevelopment has to be a win-win for everyone. We have to strengthen our city not only by investing in physical spaces, but by empowering our residents who call Baltimore home. Baltimore's renaissance is at hand, but it cannot be a renaissance that displaces those who have been here through thick and thin. We've seen what happens in cities where that happens. It has to combine new projects that will bring in more residents and revenue with assurances that development will occur without displacement. I'm here today to say thank you to Sonia Edes, to Paulette Carroll, to Nia Reed, to Dan Bythewood, to Commissioner Kennedy and her team, Scott Davis, Ondoria Harmon, and many others who've been working on the ground with and in this community through a spirit of collaboration. Everyone who I mentioned and others has worked together to find an acceptable path forward, and I'm pleased where we have landed today, and I hope you are as well. First, we've successfully negotiated the removal of 319 and 321 Carrollton Avenue, the Edes homes, from the existing land disposition and development agreement. Those homes will not be condemned, and the Edes will remain in their home. I want to thank La Cité for agreeing to this amendment and for understanding the concerns that we brought forward. Second, the Sarah Ann homes have always been slated to be restored and offered for home ownership. We've negotiated to bring a second black-owned development company into mix to advance that restoration. La Cité will assign all of its rights and obligations under the existing agreement to Black Woman Build, who will now lead the restoration of the Sarah Ann houses. This will advance the redevelopment of those properties in the next phase and help foster black home ownership right here in Poppleton. Third, the developer will move forward with the next project, the affordable senior housing development located at 231 North Schroeder Street. We are laying out a specific timeline for that development to ensure forward progress and transparency. Fourth, our agreement emphasizes the need for continued conversation and advancement of the negotiations with HABC concerning the parcels that will support the redevelopment of Poe homes. And fifth, we plan to move forward with the community to redefine development plans for the rest of the land. There is a lot more to plan, and we will be working in partnership with the community to flesh out a larger vision that focuses on what residents want to see in their neighborhoods. The advancements that I have quickly outlined here will move forward this week as components of an amendment that we will offer at the Board of Estimates this week. This will be the fifth amendment to the Land Disposition Agreement for the Poppleton Redevelopment Project. This action moves us into the next chapter for Poppleton, something I think a lot of us have been waiting on for quite a long time. The city has been deeply involved with this revitalization effort from the beginning, and remain deeply involved to guide this project forward in the best interest of everyone involved. I made it very clear that our involvement must include the community when charting the future of a neighborhood and its people. Our city is undergoing a renaissance and a renewal, and I know that it's not always the narrative we hear, and that truth is often drowned out by the challenges we face as a city. But many great things are going on, and the future of Poppleton is one of them. You don't have to think too far back to remember the devastation and destruction in this community, mainly due to neglect, disinvestment, and racist public policies. But today is the beginning of a new day. With my administration, we are charting a new way to move neighborhoods forward and to be a catalyst for positive change and equitable neighborhood development. The very things that will empower our communities and attract new residents and new investment, but also keep those who have stayed in Baltimore through thick and thin. Together, we will all, with local leaders, community advocates, and developers that share our vision for Baltimore, we will see Baltimore come into the best version of itself. I am incredibly grateful to Sonia Edes, Paulette Campbell, and Nia Reed for their voices, their partnership, their advocacy for Poppleton community, and their tough love for city government and standing in the gap. This is what Baltimore and our community is all about. And with that, I invite Councilman John Bullock to the podium for remarks. Thank you very much.
So good afternoon, everyone. And they do keep the pressure on us, but it's a pressure of love. And I will say, you know, I'm very blessed and honored to be here today to represent this community. I'm also a commissioner for our Commission for Historical and Architectural Preservation. And so from a historian's point of view, seeing these properties be not only redeveloped for home ownership, but also preserved is really key. I know the mayor made a huge point, and I want to emphasize the word he used in terms of partnership, right? Partnership in terms of the community, the developer, the housing authority, housing and community development, our office. The reality is that in order to turn our city around and turn our neighborhoods around, it takes all of us working in concert together. I think about what Commissioner Kennedy said in terms of what happened in the past, and none of us can rewrite the past, but we can chart a better future, and we can only do that together. So I look at everyone who's out here, I look at the diversity of our neighborhood, we look at it along age, along race, along background, and also want to lift up some of the organizers, not only those who are in the community, but also some of my academic friends who are also here as well, who have also, you know, really made a push because we know we need to amplify voices, and sometimes those voices need to be heard. But also, when we have a vision in terms of development, what can development do in terms of not only rebuilding a neighborhood, but also injecting new life and also resurrecting some of the things that have been lost in the past. And so here we are, not only this resurrection of our city, resurrection of this neighborhood, but also a vision for what's possible. And this is a really historical day, not only in terms of these properties, but also in terms of this process. So I really, I say this, you know, really clearly. I'm very happy to be here. I think it's a very happy day for all of us. It's a win-win. And so thank you all for being here today.
Now I'd like to, excuse me, I'd now like to invite Dan Bythewood, the developer for La Cité, to come up and say a few words. Dan?
Good afternoon, everyone. We're really excited about what we've been able to accomplish today. We're really excited because it allows us to move forward in a direction that is a win for everybody. We're really excited about the Edes family and their ability to stay here in the neighborhood where Sonia has grown up, and I've heard many stories about her family being in her home. And I'm really excited about Sarah Ann also being able to be redeveloped as well through Black Women Build, as we are standing as, in a sense, master developer. We're also really excited about the senior building that is to come that you guys are probably just hearing about for the first time, and our partner Arc'teryx, who has done a multi-million-dollar commitment to the next development. So we're very excited about building the senior building. But really what today is about is not exactly about the senior building. It's really about the community and all of the work that we did, and I would like to thank the mayor and his team for all of their guidance, and thank the commissioner for her guidance as well, and for everyone to come together. Thank you, Sonia, as well, and Miss Paulette Carroll, my dear friend for such a long time, for also being there as well. So thank you, guys. I know it's really hot, so I'm going to keep my remarks really light. Thank you.
And now we'll hear from Shelley Halstead with Black Women Build. Shelley?
This will be even more brief. No, I'm just super excited because I'm a carpenter and I love to build. And Baltimore was the perfect city to start Black Women Build Baltimore. And I'm just really honored that the city and the developer and the residents, of course, had enough faith in our ability to get things done. And we're just going to keep doing that. So I really look forward to working with everybody involved and turning these houses back into homes.
So as you can see, with everybody speaking today, this is the reason why I said when I came up to the podium to start that today is a great day in Poppleton. And I couldn't be more proud of the team that we have at DHCD that's been working on the negotiations with the developer and the outreach with the community. Deputy Commissioner Edwards has done a fantastic job helping to shepherd this through. And overall, with also thanking the Mayor Scott for his leadership and his commitment and his dedication to this, because we wouldn't have been able to do this without you and your leadership. We are focused on bringing everyone together and bringing a community together that has been divided and has been separated by what you can see behind you. Lots of vacant land right now that we're working towards coming up with the positive steps forward and how we're going to be advancing development. And I can promise you that time does not lapse, and we will not wait. And we are starting immediately. We might take a couple weeks here in the last weeks of June, but we are starting immediately, working with Dan and his team, working with all of the members of the community to look at what the opportunities are in Poppleton as we look to the rest of the about 9.6 acres that remain on how to develop those and what makes sense. And I can promise you this, that home ownership outcomes are a priority for us at DHCD, and they are a priority for Mayor Scott, and they are a priority for Dan and the development team as well. So with that, I'm going to open it for any questions that anyone might have.
What is the status of the CHAP historic district for Sarah Ann? Is that no more? Or
I believe that they, Kate, was that on the next agenda, or Kate or John? Yeah. Yeah, that should be on the agenda for the August CHAP hearing. Yes, sir. Yeah, I am actually dedicated to, with some of the changes and developments that happened in the conversations that we've been having with the community and the developer, I can tell you that Mayor Scott has a dedication to recreation in the city, to our young people and to our youth and anybody that would enjoy a swimming pool, especially on a hot day like today. And that I will be having conversations with Director Moore in Rec and Parks so that his team as well knows about the developments that are happening, what is shaping up, and also that home ownership is going to be an opportunity in Poppleton as we look forward, and that also drives some decision making around those amenities as well. So recreation space, green space, community space, those are all priorities for us as a city as we look forward to the rest of the development. Yes. At this time, we don't have that information, but I can tell you specifically for the tenants that used to live at the Sarah Ann properties, we will be connecting those tenants with Shelley and the Black Women Build to enter into conversations and negotiations on coming back to purchase a property for homeownership. Oh my gosh. I don't know how we missed that. Miss Edes, at this point too, Miss Edes, you need to come up and also speak. I apologize for that. I don't know how that happened. Come on.
I just want to cry right now. Thank you. This has been a long day coming since 2004 for me. For 2004 for my family, from 2004 from my neighbors. This has been a long time coming. And I thank God that my parents, my dad, who bought me this house, I thank God that he's still alive at 87 and is able to celebrate with me. I thank this administration, my mayor, my new housing commissioner. I thank you too, Ms. Kate Edwards, my councilman, Mr. Bullock, who, like he said, it was some tough love, But I thank them because this is the time that these people were put in position for a time such as this. This whole development thing has been, for me, God orchestrated. This is where my knowledge, my wisdom, my understanding, my patience, everything, my strength, because it was times when I felt like people was trying to get me to give up. Even to my community, when it looked like I was the reason for things not moving forward. I thank Ms. Yvonne Gunn, who was our former president, who gave me the opportunity to take the lead as the community planning chair, to plan out a Poppleton plan that we could be inclusive to this development plan. So I thank this administration for finally hearing us, for finally seeing us, for finally giving us an opportunity to be at the table. Again, like I said, it's been a long time coming. I thank my organizers, Organized Poppleton, for coming out and supporting me when this thing became real to me, when I received that condemnation, that summons of condemnation in 2020. To get out here and put it in the public sight. I lost, yes, in the courts, but it was the public who allowed this victory today. It was the public. Y'all getting on Facebook, Instagram, supporting. This is what it's going to take for all of Baltimore City, community, the residents who are invested in these neighborhoods, who have suffered and lived through all of the disinvestment. This victory is for us, all of us. It's not just Poppleton. This is a victory for all of us, Baltimore City. So we're going to need just not Poppleton, but we're going to need the neighborhoods of all the Baltimore City to be out here, putting it in, letting our mayor and letting everybody know what it is that we need to let our neighborhoods be vibrant, be healthy, that others will want to come in and move into Baltimore City. That's how it's going to happen. So again, I thank our administration, but I thank the people who have supported this effort. I fought not to get a higher appraisal on my house. I didn't hire my lawyer to fight for me to remain here. I hired my lawyer because I wanted him to help me to fight the laws of eminent domain in the state of Maryland. And so for me, they kept saying, oh, eminent domain is unbeatable. But this is proof today that if you stand, if you don't give up, that everything is possible. God made sure that it was possible. So I just want to just say thank you all again. Nicole, I just love you. I know I mean on a time frame, but I just want to just have this opportunity to just thank all of the media, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Edes. Come here. Let's do this. Come on.
I want to say thank you to Dan Byfwood and Ann. After a hearing that we had down at City Hall, we met out in the lobby, and I told Dan, we can do this together. We work better together. And I thank you for this decision. And I would look forward to working with you as you move forward with the development. Thank you.
Yeah. Miss Edes, come on back. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, but, yeah. So as Ms. Edes stated, we are better together as we work forward and look at the next phases of development in the community. And this is a moment for all of us. This is a moment for healing within the community. It's a moment of healing within the in the city, and it's a moment of healing as we look forward. At this time as well, does anybody have any additional questions that would cover Ms. Edes and the properties at 319 and 321 North Carrollton, or any other points of what's been announced here today? Yes. Picture, yeah. Okay. Oh, is there one more question? Yes.
So I know development takes time, and so the neighborhood's going to have to wait on some things to be done. But in the meantime, we're going to be able to keep it cleaner, grass cut. We have a commitment to all that as well.
Yes, and that's been a commitment that we've made to the community going back to when we first kind of started resetting conversation with the community. We've been working on actually getting the lot that's just north of here cleared and that storage container removed from there. We've been working with DPW on grass cutting and maintenance. Through the winter, it was also a matter of, other adjustments with some illegal dumping that was occurring. But yes, we are, as a city, committed to also looking at what we can do to maintain high grass, weeds, green space as we look forward to the other phases. Okay, thank you.